Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to Barry's book reviews. Just a quick review today. Today I'm going to be reviewing a poetry collection. But anyway, thank you for coming back and watching another video on the channel. Like I said, today we're delving into a fascinating and timely, or well, it was timely when it was published, but a very fascinating poetry collection. The poetry collection is called Homo Maskus, and it's written by Kim Soo-yeol, and it was translated by the highly respected Brother Anthony. And this collection was published in 2020 by Asia Publishers. It's part of their acclaimed K-Poet series, and it offers a deeply reflective look at the pandemic, aging, environmental activism, and life in general. So let's start with a little background on the poet. Kim Soo-yeol is a Jeju native, and he was born in 1959. For those who don't know, Jeju Island is a famous island and holiday spot off the south coast of South Korea, often called the Hawaii of South Korea. It's a stunning volcanic island known for its unique landscapes, lush and appealing greenery, and rich cultural heritage, and so on. And it's a very popular destination for nature lovers and adventurers and holiday goers in general. Anyway, back to Kim Soo-yeol. So Kim began his poetry career in 1982 and has since published several collections, including Turn of the Wind, Stealing Your Thoughts, and Possession. And after a long career as a teacher, he is now retired, and he says that he spends his mornings walking and wondering where to walk and who he might meet on these walks that he goes on around Jeju Island. So he was a teacher, I think, for over 3 decades, and now he just spends his time in retirement writing poems and just wandering around Jeju. Anyway, so it's this simple and contemplative lifestyle that seems to inform much of his poetry, or at least the poetry in this collection. And he's had a long career, and he's won several accolades over his career, including the Oh Jang-hwan Literary Award and the Shin Sok-jong Literary Award as well. And so winning these awards really has cemented his place as a significant poet and a significant figure in modern and contemporary Korean poetry. So what's Homo Maskus all about? So the title itself is very intriguing, right? You can see on the front cover here all these people wearing the COVID-19 masks, right? So this is obviously what inspired Kim when he was writing these poems. And Homo Maskus is actually the title of the final poem in the collection. And I think it perfectly encapsulates Kim's view of how the pandemic was transforming us as we were living through it, and how it has transformed us now that it's in the past, or a few years in the past, I guess. And as Kim puts it, we're no longer Homo sapiens, we've become Homo Maskus, creatures defined by the masks we wear. And let me read you a couple of striking lines from this poem. Only indoors is above water. Leaving home means plunging into the water. There's no entering the water without a mask. And so these are the opening lines from this poem. They set the tone for the entire poem, and I think in some ways they encapsulate the whole of this collection. So the outside world is depicted as unpredictable and dangerous. Here, a dangerous sea almost, while home is the only safe place, the only safe harbor in this dangerous landscape. And it's a very accurate and quite a haunting metaphor for how many of us felt during perhaps the height of the pandemic, and maybe how many people or some people feel about life in general, about socializing and being forced out into the world in general. And this was exacerbated for many during the pandemic. And anyway, his Kim's fascination with masks and his depiction of masks continues, or it's sprinkled throughout this collection. And later in the title poem, he refers to people as masks. So let me quote another couple of lines here. So, if you meet a mask coming toward you, you have to keep your distance or endure a fierce glare. And I think this captures, again, that sense of alienation and anxiety that many of us experienced during the pandemic years, but that maybe many of us experience during what we might call the normal years, perhaps. So even simple social interactions can become fraught with tension and anxiety. And the final line of this poem really drives that point home. He writes, "Today, it's only when you're indoors that you can take off your mask and inhale." And it's a poignant reflection on how our sense of safety shifted during the pandemic. We went from taking fresh air for granted to seeing it as something precious, perhaps even something that we could only enjoy in isolation. But what makes this collection even more compelling is that he's not just writing about the pandemic. Kim's reflections are wide ranging. He touches on themes like aging, life on Jeju Island, and even Greta Thunberg's climate activism. One of my favorite poems is called Aged 60. So in it, Kim reflects on the milestone of turning 60. This is a significant age, a significant birthday in Korean culture, and just a significant age to get to in general. And the poem here, his writing conveys a mix of emotions from melancholy to acceptance. And there's a particular line that I like where Kim writes, "Bleak like 6 in the evening in late autumn." I think it's a very vivid and evocative image, capturing a sense of twilight, not just of the day, but of life itself. I think there's a quiet wisdom in this poem, a recognition that, of course, time waits for no one, and that aging, while inevitable, brings its own beauty and its own insights. And then another notable poem is Keep On Pushing, and it opens with the line, "Dear Professor Dawkins, I'm writing because I have to be absent on Friday." And it becomes clear this is a reference to the school strikes for climate action, famously led by climate activist Greta Thunberg. The poem goes on to mention the British Prime Minister's reaction to these protests, and the Pope's encouragement for Greta to keep on pushing. And while this poem might not be as polished as some of the other poems, it does highlight Kim's willingness to engage with the pressing issues of our time, something which is admirable in poets and artists. Uh, anyway, overall, I think that Homo Maskus is a deeply thought-provoking collection that offers readers and poetry fans a lot to reflect on. Whether it's the alienation of pandemic life and life in general, the passage of time and aging, or the urgent call to protect our planet, Kim Soo-yeol's poems speak to universal experiences with simplicity and grace. And of course, we can't forget the invaluable contribution of Brother Anthony, whose translation brings Kim's words to life for English-speaking readers like me. And if you're interested in poetry that captures the essence of our contemporary world while offering timeless insights, I highly recommend you check out Homo Maskus. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you read this collection or any other poetry that resonated with you recently, or perhaps talks about the pandemic? Let's chat in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews of great literature. And until next time, keep reading and stay inspired. And thank you very much for watching today. Take care and see you next time.